So I'm truly surprised, and I consider it an unfortunate remark that the great MS Dhoni is now blaming the youngsters of Chennai Super Kings by saying that they lack the spark, hence, the oldies were constantly pushed in the playing 11. There are various reasons behind why Chennai Super Kings has floundered badly, and for me, I've been tracking them closely, and I don't think it's just the youngsters who lack the spark that is one of the main reasons for contributing towards their downfall. Let's look at the stats first. 10 games, 7 losses, just 6 points, and a spot right at the bottom of the points table. That is not what Chennai Super Kings is used to. They are not used to floundering so badly. Something has gone horribly, horribly wrong this time in IPL 2020 under the tutelage of the great, legendary Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So after the latest defeat against Rajasthan Royals, and Rajasthan Royals beat them with ease, Dhoni said after the match got over that this season we were not really there. This season we were not really there. Dhoni knows that, and all his fans of Chennai Super Kings, his own fans, everybody who likes cricket, we all knew that this team wasn't really there. It was floundering from day one. He says, we tried a few things. That is one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to do too much of chopping and changing. So Dhoni is one of those captains who believes in sticking to a set combination. And fair enough, every captain has his style of functioning. Virat Kohli does not have that kind of patience. He moves around the players quite frequently, even when they are playing for Team India in the limited overs format as well as tests. He has been criticized for it. But let's cut him some slack, and every captain should be cut some slack, that there is a call every captain takes. So coming back to Dhoni, Dhoni's main foundation is that here is a bunch of players, I need to back them, they will be there. Is it working this time for CSK? No. So he goes on to say, you want to give the guys a fair go. Then if you are not performing, you switch and go back to somebody else, and then you give him the same kind of run. Insecurity is something that you don't really want to prevail in the dressing room. Now tell me something, if a bunch of younger players are played once, then not played at all, or they are being consistently benched, how secure are you going to feel being in that team? That is a question most cricketers need to ask themselves. So the Super Kings have fielded 17 players so far in this tournament, some because of injuries to the regular players. And Dhoni said that most of them would get a chance now in the remainder of the game. So they have 4 more games left. They need 4 wins in all the games left to somehow make it to the playoffs. That too on a better run rate, if it comes down to that. Is highly unlikely it will happen because their next match is against Mumbai Indians. So Dhoni now has somewhat changed his tune a bit, and he says that the result, what it really does is give those guys whatever is left in our league stages. They will get a chance. They will have no real pressure on them, he says. They can go out and express themselves and give us the option of looking at what are the options in the batting lineup or where they would like to bat. So you're talking about something like a dead rubber. It doesn't matter whether they win or lose. So now you're going to unleash those youngsters who have lacked the spark so they can go and express themselves. So these are newfound expressions in cricket which never existed in the 70s, 80s and 90s. But it has now come up saying that you go and express yourself. Stephen Fleming has now been described as Mr. Grumpy because he sits there looking so unhappy, and quite a few of the commentators, some of them who are in the dugout, someone like a Scott Styris who played under Stephen Fleming, for the life of him he can't understand why he's looking so unhappy, but this title has been now pasted on his forehead. A highly accomplished cricketer, a good coach, he says the team was pretty down and was struggling to stay upbeat and positive after the succession of poor results. So Stephen Fleming goes on to say it's pretty down, to be honest, and it's fair enough too. We have come close in a couple of games, but we were thoroughly outplayed in many. We knew it was a crucial game to stay in the competition, talking about the Rajasthan Royals game, an outside chance to probably get through. But when you're relying on other results and change of form for your own team, then things are not right. And Stephen Fleming is bang on. He's absolutely correct. Dhoni's own legendary skills as a finisher, as a man who could hit sixes at will, the man we love to watch, and I'm again a huge fan of Dhoni. It's sad to see his batting form plummet so poorly. 164 runs in 9 innings. 164 in 9 innings at a strike rate of 125.19. So this is a complete no-show. He says you always try to address things. It's not always supposed to go your way. Agreed. That's why what you try to see, going back to the process and seeing whether the process is wrong, or maybe when we were not able to execute, how the performance was on the field. Now this is a lot of verbiage, and Dhoni is fixated on the word process, that the process has to be correct, the process has to be right. He likes to look at the process, and the result will take care of itself. You're not going to win everything, but that is the only way of moving forward. So what is the process? Now, Krishnamachari Srikkanth, the flamboyant opening batsman of before, who partnered Sunil Gavaskar and was one of the first to probably bring in the aggression and the attack of a limited overs opening bat at that point in time in Test cricket, is absolutely annoyed. He's angry. He's given a very savage response to what Dhoni said. And Srikkanth says that I won't accept what Dhoni is saying. This talk of process, I won't agree with that. Then he says that you're talking about youngsters lacking the spark. A guy like Jagdishan, you're saying youngsters don't have the spark. Does Kedar Jadhav have the spark? Did Piyush Chawla show spark? This is ridiculous. Let's talk about Jagdishan. He made his debut after Jadhav was out for the match in RCB. In that game, Jagdishan scored 33 runs of 28 balls. With the help of 4 fours, he was benched again. Let's look at the youngsters first in the CSK. Deepak Chahar, age 28. KM Asif, 27 years. Narayan Jagdishan, 24. Monu Kumar, 25. Ruturaj Gaikwad, a lot was said about Gaikwad, that he is the man who will be a key factor in the CSK batting lineup. Nothing has happened with Gaikwad, age 23. Shardul Thakur, age 29. Sam Curran, age 22. Probably the only guy with whom Dhoni has taken a chance. He's made him open the bowling, he's made him open the batting. And I thought that Sam Curran did a fabulous job, and Dhoni also praised him a lot. So to say that they lack the spark is again something that probably the great captain himself can explain. Josh Hazelwood, 29. Again in the match against RR, he was the only guy who was pushing them. Again, experienced commentators kept saying he should have been played in every damn match. Mitchell Santner, 28. Sai Kishore, 23. And Ngidi, 24. Ngidi floundered in the beginning, but somehow the team management didn't have much faith in him, so fair enough. So now let's look at the older bunch. Dhoni, 39. Ambati Rayudu, 35. Dwayne Bravo, out with a groin injury, 37. Faf du Plessis, the only man who has been consistently batting well, age 36. Imran Tahir, age 41, hasn't played a single match so far. Murli Vijay, age 36, again did not click in the opening slot with Shane Watson, who's of Dhoni's age at 39. Ravindra Jadeja, age 31. Piyush Chawla, 31. Karan Sharma, 32. Harbhajan and is 40, and Suresh Raina, 33. We know that Harbhajan opted out. Suresh Raina went back home after some problem there. So I believe they've sorely missed Suresh Raina somewhere in the middle order, and it just doesn't seem to click without him, but it's too late now. So where does CSK go from here? A quick look at the older players shows that they are mostly not match fit. Some of them are overweight, and they are unable to accelerate at crucial times as batters. Piyush Chawla, on whom a lot rested, he looks a bit chubby. His guile is still there, but he's not the same Piyush Chawla as before. But let's be fair to him, he's not being played enough. Did coach Stephen Fleming, a very astute man, put his hand up during the auction and figure a way out that, okay, I want a much younger team? Because he has made 1 or 2 comments in post-match conferences saying that this is pretty much an old dad's army. So if that is the case, did he have a say in it? What was Dhoni's role in choosing the team during the auction? So there are quite some youngsters there, and if you are saying that they lack the spark, what did you expect? Let us also not forget that because of the pandemic, a couple of months went by when there was no action. If young talent is picked, in cricket, and if they are not played, then I think it's a highly unfortunate situation, because it is a young man's game. You need young legs to chase the ball. You need them for all the right reasons, for running between the wickets. And if you are depending on people in their late 30s to carry you through in a T20 match, then obviously your thinking cap is all wrong. Since Dhoni always focuses on the process, his fans would like to know, including me, that what are the process that he follows, and what was the processes followed here during the IPL, and what was he thinking about. It would be interesting to know in a detailed interview. Of course, knowing Dhoni, he barely speaks, and no one can force him to speak when he doesn't want to. So, last but not the least, going into the next season, and there is a mega auction lined up for 2021, who would the likely captains be for CSK, just in case MS Dhoni decides that he doesn't want to be captain any longer? So the names that figure are Kane Williamson, the New Zealander; Aaron Finch, the Aussie; Morgan, the Britisher, who won England the 2019 ODI World Cup; Kieron Pollard, for various things that he brings to the table in the shorter format, a brilliant mercenary; and last but not the least, Faf du Plessis. So these are the names that would come up. For now, CSK as a franchise needs to do some very, very serious thinking, because in this IPL, they are done and dusted.